Hey guys, Coach Z here, and today let's talk about something every responsible parent should consider before getting their kids started in tennis. How much will this actually cost per year? This isn't a video on economy, but budgeting is definitely something you need to have a firm grip on for everything, especially with a sport like tennis where costs can quickly add up and become a big part of your budget. Obviously, if you're a professional player or a 5-year-old who's just starting out, the expense will be different. But since the channel is dedicated to parents and beginners, I'll be talking about typical costs for junior players around the ages 7 to 12. To keep things realistic, I'll break down my own expenses for my son. As you may know, I'm a coach, so I don't pay for coaching directly, but I'll include that cost as if I were. Let's start with the biggest expense, the coach. If your kid is just starting out, you probably won't need more than one private and one group lesson per week. But soon enough, as skills improve, the training schedule often ramps up. For example, my son is 8 and we practice about 4 times a week for an hour and a half per session. Now, coaching fees can vary, but let's take an average rate of $60 per hour. That comes to about $360 per week. My son doesn't do group lessons anymore, but if you swap one private lesson for a group session, it could bring you down to about $300 per week. So for 4 private sessions weekly, that's about $19,000 per year. And there you have the biggest chunk of your budget. Next up are tournaments. Tournament fees can also vary, but an average entry fee is around $50. This year, my son will play in 27 tournaments, totaling $1,350 in fees. Plus, there's a cost of travel. We drive about an hour and a half each way to most of the tournaments, so I'll add $30 per trip for gas, totaling another $810. Altogether, tournaments and travel will be around $2,160 for a year. Just please keep in mind, you can adjust this to fit your budget. Your kid doesn't have to train 4 times a week or play 27 tournaments per year. I'm just sharing an example to give you a general idea. Another expense is apparel. As a parent, you know how quickly kids grow, which means they'll go through clothes and gear fast. I'd estimate my son goes through about 5 shirts, 3 pairs of shorts, and 5 pairs of socks in a year, which adds up to around $300 annually. Assuming you already have a racket, I'd recommend buying a second one. It's always good to have a backup in case strings break during the match. Rackets can vary in price, but let's say 2 rackets plus a bag will set you back about $150. And let's talk about strings. Kids at this age don't typically break strings as often as older players, but I would add about $100 a year for restringing. Altogether, the equipment cost comes to about $250. The final expense is tennis shoes. These wear out faster than you might think. My son goes through about 4 to 5 pairs per year, which cost around $300 annually. So if you add everything up, the total comes out to around $22,000. Just remember, this is an average estimate. If your kid is playing recreationally, costs can be significantly lower. But if they are on an advanced level or attending a tennis academy, the expenses could be much higher. If you're unsure about how much training your kid needs or when to start on a competitive path, check out my other video in the description where I dive into those topics. I've also linked a video on choosing the right coach so you can get the most value for your money. And if you want to save on coaching costs, I have a few videos with simple drills you can do at your home or at the local court with your kids. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please help me grow this channel by liking and subscribing. Don't forget to let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if there's any other topic you'd like me to cover. Also, be sure to check the description for the links to my other videos on topics like choosing the right coach and deciding where to start your kid in tennis. I even included some simple at-home drills you can do with your kid to save on coaching costs. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the court.